Patrick's curious about socio-economic aspects of permaculture, and particularly a permaculture project, and we're going to touch on that during the course. It actually comes right at the end of the course. It's the final section, which is strategies for a global alternative nation. And Patrick's interested in advice how to avoid just developing just another permaculture plot and another demonstration site, but instead to have a permaculture project become an event launching the development of a whole neighborhood, village and region. Now, we actually go through this in the bioregional section where we identify a bioregion, and I've made up a mind map for this where there's actually 111 sections of mainly 9 main areas that we look at. Food and food support systems, right livelihood systems, and a whole list, and it goes out to first fractal, second fractal, even third fractal of information that we can go out and harvest. And what this does is it identifies the footprint, the personality, the fingerprint, if you like, of a bioregion, which identifies us to the land and the land to us. What is the primary production of our local area? What is the processing of primary production? What are the services? And what are the arts of a region? And that identifies our livings. And we look at major livings, minor livings, and then very occasional livings. So each of us have the opportunity to develop a portfolio of careers, a number of careers running concurrently. Instead of just one boring, meaningless job, let's say, we can have specialist jobs, minor jobs, and occasional jobs which we have some expertise in. These can all be identified. So when we start a local permaculture action group, and we start to get more and more information where we're sharing successes and we're sharing failures, we're working around seasonal events and identifying how we actually share information about local housing, local waste systems, local economic systems, local living systems, of course, sources of plants, sources of animals, seasonal changes, particular landscape of the region, particular climate variations, particular cultural adaptations. All of these change design. This you can gather much easier when you gather a group of people. So as you start a permaculture group, what you end up with is a way to identify information about your local area. This starts to identify who we are and how we interact with our landscape. That actually never changes. It just evolves slightly. The main information has no obsolescence to it. Now, if you look at the main bioregional resources map that I'm going to teach you, you would think that is the information that local government would normally supply. But I'm sorry to tell you, they don't supply it and they probably never will. We'll have to find that information ourselves. Now, I'm going to give you a map. I'm going to give you a way to interact with that. I'm going to give you a roadmap, if you like, to gather that information. What that will do is occupy people. Because once you get more than 150 people come into your local group, it can easily go into chaos. So you've got to occupy people with meaningful things to do. And one of the most meaningful things you can do is gather that information that identifies who we are and why we're different to neighbouring bioregions and bioregions at a distance. Then we could have bioregional trade, but that's a little bit down the track. So all of this then identifies how we, the people, develop our local economy. And that's how we thrive. And that's the way you set up community. One of the easiest ways to set up community is to set up a local permaculture action group. When you have more than 100 people, but not more than 150, meeting every month, 5 years later, you'll know exactly who you can settle land with, who you can live with, who your extended family are, and how you can then interact, live together harmoniously, and very economically how you can trade. So we'll cover all that. That's all a very dynamic and very important part of the Permaculture Design Certificate course.